everybody and welcome to this week's video. And this week, for a little bit of a change, I thought I'd drive out to one of my sites that I've researched, but really show you the work that goes into researching a site, so and getting to the point where you get those images that you want. Now, also involved with that is that when you look at a site, you might originally get some images that you quite like, but over time you'll be influenced by other images and you'll see the potential of that site and see perhaps I can do something a little bit different and get some, images that are slightly different to the ones I've got. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to show you my little owl site and I'm going to see if we can get some different images. Right, hello everybody. Now, I'm not sure whether you can actually see behind me. On the right there, that small building with the pan-tile roof, that's the building where the little owl is. Now, over the past sort of 4 years probably, when I've been down to photograph the owl, I think a couple of years ago they were actually breeding in there. I'm not sure this year, it's been a little bit hit and miss, and what tends to happen is that the owl just sits in the gaps in the pan-tile roof on one of the lats, and then if you get close to the building he'll just disappear into the roof space and doesn't come back out. As you'll see from this little bit of film, I've just filmed this here as I turned up, which is one of the reasons I've parked a little bit further away, is because potentially that's probably the only film we're going to get today. He's now gone back into the roof. Now, what I do normally is I normally park just the other side there, and some of the images I've got in the past, I'll stick those up now. Now that again has been from a hide in the field at the side here. Now, as you'll see when we get down there, the problem with doing that is there's always young beef cattle in there, so male cattle, and they're so inquisitive. I mean, I don't have a particular problem with them. I've not got any sort of cow phobia, if you like, but they do eat the hide. If you stood in there, they eat your clothes, they eat your boots, everything that they can get at, and it really does put you off when you're trying to take pictures. So it's not really an option to go in that field. I have done it before, but it's quite challenging. And what that'll give me is the similar type of pictures as the ones that you're seeing now, which I've taken in the past, which this year I wanted to do something a little bit different. But this year what I wanted to do is try and take that a step further. Now, I really love the images I've got of the little owl on top of the pan-tile roof with the blue sky behind, but I really wanted to get a sort of more subtle image with some more subdued colours, and that means bringing the owl out of the building and to somewhere else, which is going to be a challenge. But I've worked out potentially how I can do it, and I'll go through that in a moment. But what I'll do, we'll move down closer to the building so we can take a closer look. You can see now, this is a close-up of this building, and previously the owls have actually come out on this side as well, which has been really good. I mean, you could actually take pictures from here on this roadside, but this year I've not seen them coming out of this side. They always tend to be on that far side. Now, if I get your sort of orientation here, because this will be important for later in the video, east is over that way and west is over that way. So if I show you round here, I'll just take you a little walk round here, which is where I'm probably going to be taking images from, and I'll explain that in a minute. Right, so this is the roof round the back, and this is where the little owl is in the roof, and he never comes out, but I'll swing you around so you can see the building. Okay, so obviously he's on this side, so east is this way, so this is going to be a much better morning shot, because obviously the sun will be coming up over here lighting up the owl on this side. If I try and do an evening shot, the sun will be going down behind this building and the owl's likely to be in shadow, so that's what I don't really want. If it was coming out on that side, it might make it a little bit easier, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case this year, so that might be out. This is the field with the cows in it. They're all over there at the minute, but I can guarantee if I put a hide up just there somewhere, within half an hour they'll be surrounding the hide and chewing it, and chewing me and everything they can get the teeth round. So yeah, that's not an option. Been there before, done that one. So what do we want to do this time? How do we want to make it different from the other images we've got? Well, in my mind, what I want to do, I want to get the owl off the building. That's going to be the difficult part. So I have developed a strategy that might work for that. And what I'd already decided is I quite like, see this line of posts here, if I could bring him down to here, then potentially shooting from in that direction, I can have a lovely green diffused background with the field in the background and nothing else. So that was the idea. The problems are A, getting him down to these posts, and B, these posts are quite ugly. So that's where a little bit of sort of sideways thinking's coming in, I suppose. Now, I know that obviously little owls feed on beetles, grubs and worms. The beetles and grubs I've struggled with, but I have got some worms, and you can also order worms online, believe it or not. So I may end up doing that in the coming weeks to try and get these images when I run out of them in the garden. But anyway, I'll show you what the next step is and how I'm going to set up for this shot, and hopefully then this will start to make a little bit more sense to you. Right, so how are we going to get these images? Well, as I say, I like the green background there. I really do like that, and I think it'll make a nice simple image, but those posts are awful. So I want to do away with those now. But how do we get rid of the post? How do we get the owl coming down to the post? Well, this is my idea. You're amazed, aren't you? Now, I found this little bit, I love this piece of wood. I absolutely think this piece of wood's fantastic, but obviously it's only a little small thing. So what I've done is, I've screwed it to this piece of wood, this long length, and I've put a little tray at the bottom which you can fill up with soil and worms. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide this down the post and tie wrap it to it. Now, it might not seem important at the minute, but I've put the tray more to this side. Now that's specifically because that's going to sit there down the post, and I'm going to be shooting this direction. What I don't want, if the sun's coming up over there, is the owl standing on that piece of wood before it drops down to here, but pointing in that direction. So if I put this carton this side, the owl could come down and be literally pointing with its back to the sun. I want the front lit up with nice light if I can, or you know, facing me at least. So that's why that's been placed there in that direction. I'm not sure whether this is going to work, it's just an initial idea. But if I can get it coming down to this and get a picture of it on here with that lovely green background, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, it's not all about just turning up to a site and taking an image. There is or can be quite a lot of planning goes into it. You know, some animals you can turn up and it's a chance encounter and you get that stunning image. Other times, you know, you've got that idea of that image in your mind and that's what you're looking for, and you have to work a little bit to try and get it. Not sure if this is going to work, but in my mind it's worth a try. And now I'll show you where I'm going to shoot from. Right, you probably won't be able to see the posts from here, from this position. I'm actually across the road from the barn. You'll just be able to see the roof up here, and the posts are just over the hedge here. Now, this is an ideal place to shoot from. This road's really quiet, so I'm not really worried about traffic. And as I say, if I'm here at half four, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, that's not really going to be an issue. But I can see the line of posts from here, and I've got a lovely shot of the green background. I'm just trying to decide which post will be best to put that contraption that I've made on. I'm actually in amongst a load of nettles and brambles here, What I might use is a bit of a bag hide on the tripod and just stand up here for a couple of hours and see if I can get the owl to come down. But yeah, that's the plan. And really, you know, there's a space a little bit further along that way. It's about 4 meters that way. But if I stand there, the posts are all in a line together, and the big green post with the gate is in the way. So it really does show you. And a couple of posts are a little bit higher there, which means that if I put that attachment on the top, it may take that attachment into the dark green of the hedge at the back. Now if I can avoid that, I can just have the green of the field and nothing else. So that's really what I'm going to try and do now, is sort of line it up on the right post so that I've got exactly the background I want. And it's you know, it's inches either way will really change the look of that image, which is why you've got to be really careful and just think about what you're doing, you know, when you're setting these shots up. If I go 2 meters in that direction or 2 meters in that direction, the shot is going to be completely different and probably not what I'm looking for. So, you know, really spend some time sort of working these little things out, and it will pay dividends at the end with the final shot. I just thought I'd report in at the end of day one. It looks like rain has very much stopped play. I've set it's about to stop play. It's gone extremely dark, as you can probably see from this video. I set the feeder up as I said I was going to do, and I might just nip you across so you can have a look at it before we get wet through. So, concept is working well. Had no sign of any owl yet, which I didn't really expect today. But the problem I've got, okay, and if you can see here, this is how I've set the feeder up. This is working fine. I haven't actually attached this yet. It's just resting on the top of this post, and that's because the problem I'm having is this is much too deep. So if I put soil in it, basically the worms within 10 minutes have all buried themselves. So the owl up there is not going to be able to see anything that's worth coming down to pick off. So what I've got to do, I think, is to find some way of making this a lot shallower with something that the worms can't get into. I've put a few rocks in there at the minute, but they'll get under that, and there's some moss in the top which they're going into at the minute. I'm going to leave this here, try and come up with a solution for that for next time that I come up. Because obviously I want the worms on top to attract the owl. If the worms aren't there, there's no reason for it to come down. So that's design fault number one. So we'll see what we can do with that. As I say, it's going to chuck it down with rain now, so I'm going to head back. I'm going to leave that there, try and come up with a solution for that problem, and yeah, then come back and give it another go. Right, just a quick update for you. This is day 2 of the little owl shoot, or it could be the curious bullock shoot. That's more what it's been this morning. Yeah, I just wanted to really update you. I got here this morning about 5 o'clock and set up as I said I was going to do, with the perch attached to this fence and me across the road. Within about 5 minutes it was obvious that wasn't going to work, because the cows, God bless them here, just treat it as a plaything. You know, they're so curious that they just want to, what's that, and they want to play with it, and they were knocking it over and knocking it off the fence, so there was no way I could use it there. So then I decided to sort of try and make this attachment to a stick I found and put it just out of their reach, just here, which, I mean, it's a bit rickety, but it did the job for a couple of hours. Didn't get any joy with it, and actually I was just on my way home, noticed the owls. And I say owls now because I'd only seen one, but there were at least 2 or 3 came over out the back of the building onto this back fence, which I'll show you now. So I quickly got down behind this wall, excuse me, and managed to get a shot. So it's not been a complete disaster this morning. I have got a shot of the owls, so I'm going to probably have one more attempt at this in a couple of days' time before I have to put this video out, so hopefully we'll get some more success. But I'm going to go away and put my thinking cap on and just see if I can think of a way that I can make this work. Right, hi everybody. Day 3. It's not really worked out how I wanted it to, but I'm not really surprised. And I'm going to end the video here today. I'll just give you a little bit of insight into why I think that's happened. When I came on day 2 and I saw the youngsters on this back fence, and I will put a couple of images up at the end of this video that I took on that day, I think they were basically dispersing and fledging. I think we were at that stage where they're coming back to this area less and less, which is unfortunate, and it's really all down to the coronavirus, the fact that, you know, normally I would have been here sort of 4, 5, 6 weeks earlier, and I'd have got all that frenzied feeding stage where the parents are coming in and out, and obviously that helps with getting images because they're tied to this one spot. I think now they're not actually tied to here. I've not seen anything this morning, but I'll just explain what I did try to do this morning, because I'd seen the youngsters on this back fence over here. I was hoping that if I went into the garden and got a few more worms, and I stuck my perch actually down, low down to the floor, hoping that they'd hop onto the fence, and, you know, fingers crossed they might hop down onto that perch and then come across the floor and pick these worms up. You know, it was just a long shot really. Nothing's happened. I set this up yesterday and I got it all set up so I could just sort of creep in at 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning and get set up under the bag hide. And you know, the look I'm having at the minute, there was a flying ant's nest right next to where I'd set up, so I've been avoiding ants all morning as well. It's just one of those things. And of course my little friends turned up again. Don't want to forget these guys. They've been watching what's happening, so yeah, it's been disappointing in that respect, but I'm not surprised. And I just really wanted to show you on this video that, you know, that really is when I put a video out, it's not, many times it's not the case where I've gone to a location, taken a load of shots and put a video out. Sometimes it's 3, 4, 5, 6 visits, loads of preparation work, and you know, I think if you want to do wildlife photography, you've got to accept that that's part of it, and you know, you've got to refine your techniques and the things that you're doing to get those images. It doesn't always come straight away. Sometimes it does, which is nice, but a lot of the time it's the actual process that's the enjoyment of actually getting those images. Once you've put all that work in and you actually get the image that you had in your mind, then, you know, that's a fantastic feeling, and it really does make it worthwhile when you get that image in the end. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to have a quick look at the back field here that's been cut for hay, just to see if there's any owls sort of hunting around there this morning. See if I can get some video, but I very much doubt it. I don't think we're going to do anything now, but we'll see. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, then please consider subscribing, and I will see you shortly for another video. Cheers, bye.